I think we got to sing and ding a little bit to lift our spirit. Well, you know something awesome? You know that about 150 years ago, sadly enough, the Russian government came out with a decree, sadly enough, that in every Jewish village, the Yidna, so and so many children have to become soldiers. And it was awesome. The military police would come and just steal children on the street. Little kids from 4, 5, 6, and they would never see their parents again. And if you remember, they would force them to convert, and those kids would literally commit suicide. It was awesome, awesome. So the chasidim came to the Heiliger Ruzhiner, and Heiliger Ruzhiner says, "Give me 3 days. I want to see what's happening." And this is what he said. That from heaven they told him, remember Maharal mentioned, the question was not, you see, everything from outside it was like the Romans destroyed the Holy Temple. But from inside, it was not the Romans. The Holy Temple was built for 410 years. The time was over. Our holy rabbis knew that this is what it is. Said enough, we have to go into exile and fix ourselves and come back. And if you remember, there was this group, the military group. You know what it was? We had enough food for 25 years. Maybe some of you don't know how rich we were in those days. We had enough food for 25 years.
Three rich Jews.
3 rich Jews here. Unbelievable, right? So what they did, they burnt down the food. So the Heiliger Ruzhiner says that all those young people who burned the food and wanted so much to fight, they came back to the world. God says, you want to fight? You want to be a soldier? Become a soldier of the Tsar. And that's it. So he says, do me a favor, I cannot pray for those kids. You have to go to another rebbe who doesn't know this that much. I want to tell you one more good story, which is also awesome. Do you know the kaiser of Austria? At that time, this was in the time of the Maharal, approximately 1620, 1630. I'm sure nobody remembers the story, yeah. I'm sure Maharal also. Maybe I told the story 1,000 times, so forgive me, I'll tell it one more time. Always Erev Shavuos, the day before Shavuos, and it was organized in such a way that because Shavuos, it's Yom Tov, and people, everything is clean and beautiful. The Austrian Kaiser came into the ghetto, and people were dancing, and it was to renew the friendship between the emperor and the Jews. At that time, there was in Prague a young man who was like beyond. He was 15 years old. He was the greatest scholar, he was the greatest Kabbalist, he was not from this world. And he says, I don't want to waste my time to dance around the Austrian emperor, but I'll be by the window. When he comes, I'll say the blessing. You know, when you see a king or a kaiser, you have to say a blessing that God gave a part of his honor to a human being. Okay, and you know, it was obviously very outstanding. So the kaiser is in a carriage, and this young man standing by the window, and the emperor's eye caught this young man. And he said the blessing, and he waved. And 1 second later, from one of the windows of this house came stone, and it's a miracle the emperor was not killed. The soldiers surrounded the house, and the only person who was in the house was this young man. I mean, obviously he didn't want to kill the emperor. He just said the blessing of him. But again, on the other hand, there was nobody else there. So they arrested this young man, and then the emperor says, I absolutely don't know what to think. You know, the Maharal, the chief rebbe of Prague, was very close to the emperor. So he said, let the Maharal decide. Heavy. You have to open your hearts till the end. The Maharal says he did it. He was hanged. And the Maharal says, by the funeral, pass by my house and call me out. I want to walk behind him. And you know, the Jewish community was ready really to lynch the Maharal. Why didn't you say he didn't do it? But you know, the Maharal was one of the greatest Kabbalists in the world. So when they passed by with the coffin, the Maharal says, open the coffin. And he wrote God's name on a piece of paper and put it under the tongue of the dead body. And he stood up, came back to life. He said to the people, you know who I am? If you remember, in the time of the first temple, Zechariah ben Avkilis, the prophet, the first one who prophesied the destruction of the temple. People got so angry, they threw stones at him, and he was killed. And until the destruction of the temple, that place where he was killed, what?
Blood was bubbling.
Blood came out like from a well. Endless blood. So he says, I want you to know that I was the first person who threw a stone at him. I was already 17 times in this world to atone. And each time I die a normal death, I have to come back. Don't have strength anymore. This time the Maharal had compassion with me. And you see, he really died, but not for throwing the stone at the emperor. He was killed for throwing the stone at the prophet of Chaya. He did this